Hey y'all! So, in today's video, I am so excited because we have a guest, and you guys can see by the title and the thumbnail, we have a special guest. Now, I must say, it has been a mission trying to get this guest because on my end, I'm busy, she's busy, technology is failing us. And so I'm so excited to finally have her here. Even if it's for a few minutes, I'm just grateful that she's here to share some wisdom on the Aupair world. She speaks so much wisdom on the TikTok. If you're not following her, I highly recommend go follow her. It's always good to hear from other au pairs who have been here longer. And as I always say on my channel, don't just take my advice for it because we're all different people. We all had different situations. So I'm gonna let my guest introduce herself and tell us her story. So welcome.
Hi, thank you, Angel, for having me. Thank you.
First of all, tell the people your name.
My name is Rebotile Imameri. Okay. What else do they need to know?
So where are you from?
I'm from South Africa, Pretoria.
Okay.
I'm from South Africa, Pretoria, a township called Attridgeville. It's in the west of Pretoria, born and bred Pretoria girl.
Okay.
All the way, yes.
And so you were an ex-au pair. How long ago was that?
I was an au pair, oh my gosh, over a decade ago, 13 years ago to be exact.
What agency did you come with?
I used Au Pair in America.
What? Okay, family. I didn't even know that.
I used Au Pair in America. They're the best. They've been in the business for decades. So
listen, I've used them twice.
Yes.
What made you decide to become an au pair?
When I was in high school, they came and did this huge presentation about traveling. You want to go to America, you want to go to New York, you would love to have passion for kids. Then I was like, these things are for white people, not interested. Yeah. And then a couple of years later, in my mid-20s, I discovered it again, and I was in such a terrible relationship that actually coming to America as an au pair, I was running away. Yeah. I was running away from a bad relationship, and the application process was agreeing with me. Like everything was just lining up, and I kind of like knew, okay, this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
So then I did everything I needed to do, and I'm here. That's how I got here.
What was it like telling your family? Because I left in the first time I became an au pair was 2016, and hi, shame. I had to prove, convince everything.
I didn't really involve my family that much because when I was I was already independent. I moved out of my parents' home at the age of 18. I was living by myself, age of 18 years old. So when I was au pairing, I was 25 years old. I was already making decisions by myself. So I didn't need to consult anybody. I didn't need to ask anybody's permission. I didn't need to tell anybody. I just kind of like did my own thing on the backside. And then once I had the confirmation that everything's finalized, everything's into place, that's when now I mentioned it to my family that, oh, by the way, January, I'm going to America. And they were like, oh, okay, that's nice. Okay, they were like, okay, whatever. Because I've just been that kind of girl, independent.
Yeah.
In my own right.
I feel like you're still that kind of girl. I don't know. I feel like
my parents have never questioned me about any decision that I made about anything ever. So they were like, oh, that's fantastic. Okay. And that's just how they took it.
Were you not scared about au pairing because you didn't know anyone else? Or were you like...
I didn't know anybody else, and the agency was very, very supportive, from day one. I was confident. I did a lot of research just to make sure that it's something that exists and I'm not falling into a trap of, anything that is not what it says it was. So I really, really took my time to do my research with the agency to find out that they're legit.
Yeah.
So...
And so
I didn't have any concerns.
How long did it take you to match with your family?
You see, that's the problem. When you're doing this process, you kind of like feel so scared that you're not going to match with the problem. So I literally matched with the first family that approached me. Oh no, maybe not. Maybe the second, because I I didn't want to look after more than 2 kids, and I had another family that approached me. They had 5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, that one I'm definitely not matching. But literally, the second one that approached me, I just matched instantly.
Oh,
I
that's like
matched.
common. Yeah, that's common in the au pair world, especially if you've never had of anyone else or nobody's told you to wait,
Yes,
like wait
yes,
it out. A lot of
yeah.
people. So, was your first host family like a successful match?
It was absolutely not a successful match. We spoke via email. I didn't even have a Zoom call or anything with them at that time. I was literally via email. Communicated with them back and forth a couple of times. They had sent pictures of the family, the kids, and the family, and I
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is it. Twins. They were in Connecticut. I loved it that they were in Connecticut because it's an hour away from New York. You literally hop onto
Mm-hmm.
a train and you get to
Mm-hmm.
New York. So I just wanted to be next to New York. I just wanted to be in
Yeah.
New York. Hence, I connected with them.
Yeah. And then fast forward to getting here. So, when you got here, I know it didn't work with this family. How long did it take you to rematch with them?
I literally stayed with that family for 3 weeks.
Okay.
You know,
Tell me the
they
story.
the red. I knew that I wasn't going to last in that family because literally from day one, things started happening and information started coming up that I wasn't even aware of. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you one of the things that was wrong. So you do the orientation for the 3 days, and then they come and pick you up from your hotel, and then other au pairs have to catch their flights to the different states of
Mm-hmm.
wherever they
Mm-hmm.
matched with. So I had another au pair come to fetch me, a German girl. So I was
Yeah.
like kind of like thinking that okay, she's probably the old au pair. I'm kind of like taking over from her.
Yeah.
She's probably going to stay with me for a couple of days and then she'll leave and then I'll kind of like continue with my job. Only to find out that she was also kind of like hired at the same time, came at the same time that I was coming to work with this particular family, the both of us at the same time.
Oh, so wait, they had two au pairs for twins.
They had 2 au pairs for twins. The initial plan for them, which they told me when I got to the house, that the German girl was going to do day shift and I was going to work night. I was going to stay up, watch the kids because they were restless sleepers. They were not sleeping at night. I was to stay up at night and calm them down and get them settled. I was
That's
like,
a lot.
I was like, okay, I don't remember having this conversation with you through the emails that we were going back and forth,
So okay,
and
so what are they doing when both of you are taking care of being up? Like what's happening? Like they just chilling the whole time?
no, so I didn't even do that. So when I got there, obviously jet lagged. I was sleeping a couple of
Mm,
days, normal hours, and then
yeah,
the German au pair would kind of like go through the day, the schedule of the kids, like they did swimming lessons, they did music, they did this. So their day was pretty busy. And then
yeah,
she would have to knock off at probably like 6 or 7 in the evening, and then I would have to take over from 7 in the morning or whatever, and then vice versa, and then I would have to
yeah,
go now sleep, and then she would have to now do the
yeah,
day the day the day
yeah,
shift.
yeah. So what has that taught you though about like yourself? Because I know whenever you've gone through rematch, I've been through rematch twice. The first time it's like shocking, it's emotional because you didn't expect it. And then when you're going into your second family, you have like precautions, you have a list of things you're not gonna tolerate. Like what did that whole
um
experience with your first host family teach you?
You see, that's also one thing. I think when you've worked with children for a number of years, it kind of like helps you really, really, be grounded, especially coming to a country like America. I
Yeah,
always tell my followers that, the 200 hours of you looking after your nephews and nieces doesn't really count as experience to me because it's a different culture.
yeah.
What you say is looking after children in South Africa. It's not the same as looking after children in America.
It's not.
You know, American kids, especially if the family is going to pay you, they need certain things to be done with the kids. And I had already had the experience. I had already had like 6, 7 years experience being a teacher, so I was grounded in the childcare.
Yeah,
in being an au pair. And I was an au pair as well before coming to America. So I was really grounded, and I knew what was right and wrong. And I'm outspoken. I've always been outspoken. So putting my foot down has never been an issue with me in terms of addressing issues with the families that are connected. Hence, when they said you were going to do night shift, I was like, hang on. Let's take a few steps back. I don't remember having this conversation with you. I don't remember you telling me that there was another nanny. We were going to work together, and I got my LLC immediately onto this to kind of like intervene. And she was on my side as well. She was like, no, we don't even do that with the agency. We don't have any night shift. People are not night shift. So that is how now I had to rematch. But obviously there were multiple red flags. And then, the buying of my flight ticket to, Mexico, they wanted to go on vacation. And she was like, oh no, you're going to have to pay for your own, flight. I was like,
that's
no more. That is not going to happen.
So interesting. Wow. I'm sorry you went through that.
You have to really, really be grounded as an au pair. It will help you.
And I think that's the purpose of my channel, though, is because when I became an au pair for the first time, I was still trying to find my voice in general. That's why I came overseas. I was trying to I used to be super shy, like, oh, it's okay, like, it's fine. And now I think this is why I'm so passionate about this and speaking up about it. I want au pairs to know that, number one, because when I was going through it, I thought I was the only one going through it. Like, who else deals with this? This is how it's supposed to be. And now this is why I'm passionate about having other au pairs come on and share their stories, because I love that from day one you spoke for yourself and you were like, no, this is wrong. I want me to do this, which is good. Now, how long were you an au pair in total? Because I know you still stay here in America. Like, how long was your au pair journey?
So, listen, I'm a visionary, So being
an au pair, is that what I'm hearing?
So when I was an au pair, I knew that I wanted to do it just for a year. I literally just wanted the cultural exchange from it. I knew that I wanted to do it for 1 year. I knew that I wanted to go back home and continue with my education, continue being a teacher. So I literally did it for 1 year. After I did it for 1 year, my host families were begging me that, what are you going back to do in South Africa? Rematch, stay with us, or try a different state. And I was like, no, I'm done. I've had the experience that I wanted to have. I'm done. Like, America is not even for me. I'm done. I'm going home. So I did it for a year. I went home. I went home and I continued with my job, got back into teaching. And then 2013, that's when I applied for the green card lottery, and hence I'm back here. So I applied for the green card lottery and I got it. And
you got it first try?
First try,
Wow, au pairs are not gonna lie to you. There's so many people are not. I've heard it's such a complicated, long waiting process thing.
Can I tell you something? When you do some stuff and then there's no really intentions behind it. When I was applying for the green card, I was like, there's no way I'm going to win it. It was just one of those kind of like, let's just see. It's either I get it or I don't get it, and I was ready for either or. So my hopes were like not going through it like, oh no, I want to go to America. For me it is what it is. If I get it, I get it. If I don't get it, I don't get it. It's not the end of the world, And even after I got it, I was like, I need to check if this is not a scam. Like,
you're like, I can't believe this.
I was like, there's no way. How? And then I had to call the immigration and confirm everything, and they were like, yeah, you got it. So they give you 6 months to relocate and everything, and that's when I was like, this is a sign, guys. Like, maybe America is where I need to be. Like, packed up my stuff, sold stuff, and then 6 months later I was back here.
And so now that you're here, I see that you still. So you've been in au pair over a decade ago, and I love that you still talk about it, especially on social media, because I feel like a lot of au pairs, and I see it with people who have been in au pair like 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Like, the minute they done, and they forget about those coming behind you, or they
Yes.
start talking, like mean or whatever. So for you, like, how has now that you're no longer in the au pair, outside of the au pair world, I know you do your TikTok and thing and everything, but do
Yeah.
you still recommend it to other people back home? Like, do you still recommend it to people who ask you about your journey?
Yeah, so let me just go back a little bit. So, with me starting to talk about au pairing videos, that was really not my intention at first. Yes, I always knew that I wanted to be a TikToker, I wanted to do videos, I wanted to inspire people. But, I've got other angles that I could have,
Mm,
my content, I could have started other content instead of
yeah.
au. But for some reason, on my timeline, I kept on bumping into au pair videos and
Mm-hmm.
South African au pairs like complaining about how they're miserable, how they're unhappy, how they this. And then this one particular girl um, did a video and then she was crying. She was saying au pair diaries and she was just complaining. And that's when I was like, hang on, I need to step in to help these girls.
Mm,
How now I started doing the au pairing videos.
yeah.
I felt like it was my responsibility to step in, help girls that are in America or wherever they are as au pairs, or girls that are in the process, just to kind of like be the link of all the information that you don't get when you're in the process, that the
Yeah.
agency will not tell you.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like wanted to be that guide, that informer, that just
Yeah.
like look out for 1, 2, and 3. This is what you can do. This is what, don't try this. Just to
Yeah.
give them a heads up in terms of the process and what to expect and what not to expect and how to go about it.
Because you also can be super, and I always say this, like, you also can be super honest because you're not on an agency anymore. Nobody's gonna kick you
Yes,
out. No
yes,
host family is gonna call you and say, "Can you take that off your social media,
yes,
please?" You
yes.
know.
And
So
30
it's
years
like,
later, the kids that I looked after, they're 16 now. So they were
oh,
3 then, they're 16 now. I don't know where they are. I have
yeah,
absolutely no idea what happened with that family.
uh huh,
So I can openly now speak about them and about my experience.
yeah.
Cause Jay.
Would you recommend this journey for other people?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Look, au pairing is one of the easiest way to find yourself in a foreign land, that
Mm-hmm.
you will learn a different culture.
Yeah,
Um, you know, definitely, if you're young, especially for girls that don't really have a future, they don't have anything that they're looking forward to, and they just want time to get out of the country. This is the program
yeah,
for you. This is the
yeah,
program for you to come and find yourself. I
yeah,
recommend it. Do I recommend it for girls that are 18, 19, 20? No. I think if you're in your early 20s, you know, for me, I would recommend it at that time. Like, don't jump into it as soon as you hit 18. Because
yeah,
18, you haven't really, you know, you're still a child. You literally just came out of high school. You haven't really had a little bounce nyana out of in your life, or a little hiccup nyana.
yeah.
So I would say that, yeah, if you are 21, 22, 23, you're not going to school, you're struggling to find yourself, definitely this is the program for you. Go for it.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for coming on, guys. She is actually doing this on her lunch break. I just want to make everyone know
I'm
so they
very
can see you
excited.
walking. She's about to go back into work. Thanks for
Yeah.
chatting with us for a quick
Thank you,
minute.
thank you, thank you.
Give
And
give us your TikTok name so we can. Well, I follow you
TikTok
already, so
is, I
everyone
don't
can
even
go
know my
follow
new
you.
TikTok. TikTok is Rebotile11 now. Rebo underscore Tile 11.
I will also put it in the description so they can just click the link and go follow you. If you want to be I mean, not a TikTok. If you want to be an au pair and you have advice, go. She's super honest,
Yes,
blunt. She has way more years than me, so I love seeing it. Go ask her, and
yes.
you also get to hear about her experience. But anyway, thanks for
Awesome,
being
awesome.
on the
Thank you for
show.
having me. It was
I'm so
great. Thank you so
grateful.
much.
Bye.
Thank you.